Welcome back to Packs and Picks. I'm here with our fourth sealed pool for Wilds of Eldraine. Over the last week, I broke down the cards in each color of the pool, so let's dive in and talk about some of the cards and talk about the deck that I ultimately ended up with. It is another green-black deck, so I know the last one we had was also green-black, but this time around we did have some good rares in black that really pulled me towards that color at least. So I did go with green-black. I'll set it out here again by Mana Curve, and then we can talk about it. All right, so the first thing that I found with this deck is that we finally got some good rat cards to try to make rats happen at least. So we have Tangled Colony is one of the rares that we got. 3/2 rat. When it dies, makes more rats. We also got Warehouse Tabby over here, which cares about rats. We also have Voracious Vermin, another rat, 2/1 rat here. When other creatures die, it gets bigger. But then at the top end of the curve, we have 2 copies of Twisted Sewer Witch. So 5 mana, 3/4. When it enters the battlefield, it makes a rat. But then for each rat we control, we get a Wicked Roll token attached to that rat. So pumps our rats that we have on the battlefield. But also, I think with 2 copies of this has an interesting effect where if we put another Wicked Roll token on all of our rats that already have a roll, then those rolls are going to go to the graveyard. Our opponent's going to lose maybe 3, 4, 5 life, and then we'll still have a bunch of rats hanging out. So I think this card at the top end really enables us in our rat strategies, and that's one of the reasons why I really liked black this time around. Another reason I liked black, we have another rare in Devouring Sugarmaw. So 4 mana, 6/6 Menace Trample, but it does have that downside where at the beginning of our upkeep, we have to sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token, or else we have to tap it. So this is one where I started to look at green, because I know green has those food tokens that are floating around, so we could sacrifice food tokens to Devouring Sugarmaw. Also, green's going to help us mana fix a little bit. I do have a white source in the deck, so we can cast the adventure side of this to make some of those tokens that the Sugarmaw can eat a little bit later. That was another one of our rares. And then we also had Rankle's Prank, 4 mana, where each player discards 2 cards, each player loses 4 life, or each player sacrifices 2 creatures. So my hope here is that with green, with a little bit of ramp in the deck, we can play our spells out quickly before our opponent, and then we don't get hit with the discarding effect here. And also with all of our rats floating around, we'll have 2 rats we can sacrifice, whereas our opponent might have to sacrifice something more valuable. So Rankle's Prank is another rare in the deck. And then on top of that, we just had some other good cards, good interactions. So Agatha's Champion, 4/4 when it comes in, fights a creature if we bargained for it. We also have Curse the Werefox, another fight effect. I also have Stab Wound. This is a card that I really like. 3 mana enchantment. Ideally just sits on opponent's creature and drains them for 2 life every turn. So another way to just kind of slowly bleed life out of our opponent. So that's the black-green deck as it currently stands. Take a look at some of the cards from the other colors that we didn't pick. Take a look at white first. So in white, I want to look at 2 of the gold cards actually first. So we have a green-white card in Sir Armont that cares about enchantments on our creatures. And we also have Sheree in white-blue, cares about the tapping effects. So this time around, our blue-white pool wasn't as heavy on tapping effects like our first deck was. So that deck really wasn't here in this pool. And then otherwise, white itself just seemed pretty shallow. It seemed like a support color at best in this pool. We do have Grasp of Fate, which I really like. Shrouded Shepherd is a great creature. And some good interaction spells. But the pool itself just kind of fell off from here. Not very much depth in the form of white this time around. So that's why I kind of didn't stick with the white in the ultimate build of the deck. We'll take a look at blue next. Blue, one thing that I had noticed that was kind of neat was this like sub-theme of cursed roll tokens in blue. So Gadwick's First Duel makes cursed roll tokens, Diminisher Witch also makes cursed roll tokens, and Vantress Transmuter also makes cursed roll tokens. So I thought that was kind of neat that there's this kind of sub-theme in blue, at least in this pool this time around, that I like the look of. But otherwise, there's just not much to be excited about here. Got some fine creatures, Bloon's Gatekeepers, Water Wings is a fine effect, but then we ended up with 3 counter spells in blue, which in limited I'm not a huge fan of counter spells, let alone 3 of them. So it would have been nice to see those be just really any other spell that would have made me pulled me towards blue a little bit more than I was this time around. So that's blue. And then last but not least is red. So red, I think, is the one case where you could make a case to do a red-black deck versus the green-black deck this time around, because we do end up with some more rat token synergies. So we've got a copy of Raid Bombardment, which helps with a lot of rats floating around, Tattered Ratter, Gnawing Crescendo, Edgewall Pack, that's going to make some rats. So I do think that you could make the case for building a red-black version of this and having it support more with the rats from red. But that's the pool as it currently stands, and that's the deck we made. Let me know your thoughts on this deck and the pool overall. Do you like the version of the green-black deck we've got here? What choices would you make differently? Would you like to see the red-black deck over the green-black deck? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.